Who are you? Yes, the new lab assistant. I see. Well, I did request the assistance of an expert, but I suppose you'll do just fine. Yes. Best get you up to speed. A lot to learn, So, just, please. This right here, this is an extraterrestrial life form. Yes, an extraterrestrial being. No, please. There's really no need to fear. Look, see, it's rather harmless. How do I explain it? Despite being active intellectually on a molecular level, there's just it's not a whole lot going on. It's akin to petrified wood, perhaps you might say. But don't let that fool you. It's certainly unlike anything anyone's ever seen before. I suppose that I'm getting a bit ahead here. Here, we should start. It's always good to start at the beginning. At the beginning, yes. Just a moment, please. This cube was found at the Hiawatha Impact Crater in Greenland, and it's sort of a power source, but well, I suppose in layman's terms, it's a space capsule of some sort, a spaceship. It's what they came in, 30 of them in total, and we have reason to believe that they've been emulating us. See, we had to open up with a laser cutter, just along the top here, right, to open it, and it was still clear, translucent. But what we found on the inside was very fascinating. There's these there was 30 little green alien men, and it did seem that they've been watching us, because there was some, well, how do you put it, artifacts, trinkets that they had in their possession. So see, for example, here, right, little spaceman with an American flag, which led us to believe that they've probably been watching since the moon landing. Of course, under the ice in Greenland, we don't know how long they've been there, but we just found them just recently. So here's a little spaceman, and then there's many others. There's this one here. He's got a little rocket strapped on his back. You see, and then this is how we found them. See, this one has got a little rocket kind of strapped on the back. Just a little rocket. Let's go. See, like that. And they must have been watching us so that they could emulate us, because it's all space related. The most interesting one, though, of course, is this one right here. We believe this reason. We believe that this is the leader. It's the largest in stature, and it's also, well, it's holding the Earth. It's holding the Earth. So it seems logical to believe that this is probably the leader. We don't know what type of hierarchical structure that they operate under, though. So it's still, open to interpretation. But anyways, yes, they were found in this condition. And it's it's very interesting because they're inactive. Like I said, it's very similar to like a piece of petrified wood, something that was alive but is no longer. Yeah, and yet there's this copying, right? This sort of mix and matching of different little tokens or trinkets per se. Again, they're quite harmless, but it's rather perplexing. Yes. So you get a close look, right? You get a good look at it. Right. This is the one we think is in charge of the entire operation, but here's the one I was showing you initially. These hadn't changed from when we found them, and this is the original condition that we found them in. So this one actually has like a flying saucer. The initial one I was showing you. That might not have been an emulation of us, but rather something from another intelligent society, or perhaps from their own little flying disc. Now, of course, they came in a cube, so it is a bit different, right? Not exactly the same, but we did also find in here that there's two little discs that were in here that came with them. There's this, I don't know if I can get it, there's this red one and a green one. If I can just get it. Here's the red disc, and here's the red one. See, this little kind of a pinkish red hue to it. But there was a green one. Very odd. It seems to be missing. Well, that's not good. You didn't take it? No? I could have sworn it was there just a minute ago. Like just a minute ago, I was just looking. Oh, that's not good. Well, I'm sure we'll track it down. It must have just been misplaced somehow. It's not in here. That's quite curious. Did it just up and disappear? I'm stumped. Well, let me finish introducing you to the additional specimens. The thing we began to notice that they started to transform into different entities. Rather, they adopted certain tokens that they observed while in the examination probing lounge, and that was on the television, which just so happened to be playing the sports channel, and as you can see here, they've copied off of what they saw on the television, and now we were sure to separate as many that hadn't been contaminated, which was just a few. Those are the ones you saw in the cube earlier. But all these had been contaminated and copied off of what they saw on the television. Now, as soon as we made this discovery, we began to notice something interesting, And here, I'll see if you can catch on. So for example, an example of one of these fellers here is this one right here. You have a baseball player. See, you have a baseball player. Right? It's an ordinary baseball player. Now, if we take a closer look at two other specimen. There's this one right here. Let me just put it to the side, and this one right here. Let me put that to the side as well. Now, I want you to take a close look through the lens here. So let's see. Right, you have a few different ones. So just look closely. Do you notice a difference between specimen number one? Specimen number one. Specimen number one. That was specimen number one. Right here. See? Specimen number one. Specimen number one. And then you have specimen number two. Specimen number two. See? Number two. Specimen number two. And specimen number three. Specimen number three. Well, I'm sure you noticed a few things off the bat, right? Right off the bat. Sorry. See, number three. Number three. Straight off that. You'll see that with the first one here, it's rather translucent, right? Rather opaque. You can see right through it. There's not a whole lot to it, no. And it's just sort of simple and rather plain, right? So this is what we call stage one specimen. Stage one. Stage one specimen. Right. Now, you see that, right? It's stage one right here. Yes. And then there's what we call a stage two. Here, take a nice close look. See, stage two. Yes. You see, this one right here is a stage. It's a stage two specimen. Stage two, and that's because it starts to have some coloration. Right? You see this, the eyes and the back starting to fill in, right? And you can tell there's more details. There's more going on than simply meets the eye. So this is a stage two specimen. Stage two. Right? You can see the colors that are here. Yes. Right. On the bat, on the eyes, just sort of all around. It's starting to change, starting to form into something else. But where things get really interesting is in the last stage, because the translucence it entirely goes away and forms into more of a solid. Right? See this? It turns into straight up into a solid. Here, see that? Straight into a solid. It's quite different. See? It's changed. see that there's really no part of it anymore. There's really just no part of it anymore. That's something that you can see, something that you can see through, right? It's entirely well, entirely solid and a little gooey as well. Actually, a little gooey, and then that's kind of the big difference. But you can still tell, right? Because this is the stage 3, and that's the final form, right? Again, the stage 2, just to review. Stage 2, and then the first stage. And based off this observation, it seems that they've been emulating each other, right? Sort of copy paste, and transformation. So let me just put these down here. You can see that the stage 1 subject and the stage 2 subject, right? The stage 1 is copying what the stage 2 is doing. And the stage 2 is copying what the stage 3 is doing, and so on and so forth. You can see this trend continue onward with the other specimen, right? You can see that there's a stage 1, right? Like tennis player, and stage 2 weightlifter, and I know that in here someplace is a stage 2 boxer, right? Is he a stage 2 boxer? And actually, there's also a. Put these back. Put these fellows. There's a stage 1. See, a stage 1 boxer, right? And a stage 2 boxer. Here, he's even copying the color, right? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 1, stage 2, stage 1, stage 2. So stage 1 formed it into this shape to copy. See, a virtual copy, same shape. Same material, right? Same material. And they're practically identical, just the color. And I would argue that this will probably eventually turn into a stage 3, and this will turn into a stage 2. So they've been copying off of each other, and that sort of just raises the question, right? If they can copy off of each other, if they can copy off of what they're seeing, if they are in separate environments but observing the same phenomena, will they still turn into the same exact see right here, right? We have a skateboarder and we have a snowboarder, so they're a bit off sometimes, but if they're in separate controlled environments, what would happen? And that was the next test. And so that's precisely how we proceeded. So we separated them off individually, one by one, so they have no contact, no communication with each other. But we played the same musical pieces to the group. So for example, here, right, there's one blue guitar player, right? A blue guitar player. And identical difference being the color, but you can see that the form, the shape, the material, right? The biology, I suppose, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Only difference is the color. So they were just listening to the same piece of music over and over and over and over. And it's just an astounding result. Superb, absolutely superb. Now there was a third guitarist that turned out a little differently. You can see here, right? Now there is some similarities because it is pink. So you have a pink one and a pink one, but this is a stage 1 where these are stage 2s. And also this one has an electric guitar. So you can see the electric guitar versus the acoustic guitar. So there's not quite the same. So it's not perfect. It's not a perfect duplication, but it's close. There must be some way to harness this energy. Maybe the cube that came in. Maybe it's the source. The readings from it are just off the charts. I mean this thing can power the world 5 times over, probably, if we can find a way to harness it. I mean, it's really, that's the type of stuff we're dealing with here. That's the type of stuff. It's quite incredible. Now, here, just to continue. There's another clone, right? There's another match. These 2 drummers here, right? Again, just completely the form, the shape, the texture, the microbiology, the cells. It's a complete match of the DNA. And it's just, it's out of this world, I think, is the proper term. And you got a blue one and a green one. So you got the green guy, right? Kind of very stereotypical. It really makes one wonder, maybe they were copying off of our conceptual, our idea of what an alien should look like. Perhaps that's what was going on. In the first place, they were just emulating. that. There's a few other musical examples here, right? There's this one right here, right? It's kind of different from the rest, but it's forming its own idea, right? It's forming something new. It's got a saxophone, a little saxophonist, right? So there's certainly room for diversity and choice. Is it random? Is it a percentage of which path it'll go down to? Like, for example, if he's listening to a song that has drums, guitar, saxophone, and vocals, right? What determines the chances that it'll develop a certain attribute? It's really quite fascinating. I said there's 30. During the musical trials, like I said, we were playing the song just over and 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 over again. It can get a bit repetitive. A few of them started to show, I'll just show you, they started to show some more aggressive traits. And we figured at that point, stop the music and isolate the characteristic before it spread too far. But we have them quarantined in here together. We don't want the violence to spread. So there's these few here. Now, these are. So there's 4 of them, and they're all at different stages, different progressions here. So let's see. Okay, so if we take a look, there's this one here, and this is a stage 1. Stage 1, but you can see he's got this little gun, right? This little gun right there, and that was what was concerning to us. We didn't want that coming back to bite us, no. So it's sort of something we just wanted to root out. Snip it at the butt. Snip it at the butt. Just put it out. So there's that one, and then there are 2. And just to find the other one, yes, there's 2. There's 2 stage 2s here. See, and these. There's a yellow and there's a green one. Again, they have these little cannons, you know, pew, 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 pew. And we don't want that to happen. Again, they've been inactive. They've just been duplicating, replicating. Perhaps we should show them something kind, peaceful. Maybe they'll transform back and be a little less scary, because and this is sort of why we had to stop them. At the end of this, there's this guy here, and he's a little off his rocker, a little crazy. Stuff stage 3, and we didn't know what would happen next, so we figured it'd be best to isolate the specimen. Oh my God. You didn't put that in there, did you? You just got here. It's the green one. This was in the cube. This was in the cube. This was in the cube. I'm telling you, this was in the cube. No, I didn't leave it there. Here's the cube. Where's the... Open this up. See the red one? The red one's still here. The red one's still here, see? The red is still here. Still here. And then the green. The green is here now too. How did they get over there? Perhaps okay, let's keep these separate from we'll put this one back. We'll put this one back in the cube where it was. With the green one. The green one, well, it's sort of here. How did it? I promise we can review the security view footage. This right here. This. I'm telling you. It was in that cube. In the cube. And somehow it must have probably teleported. No, it couldn't have. It couldn't have teleported. It couldn't have. I think I'm just losing it. I'm sorry. it's again, it's call security, and I think we're gonna have to take further quarantining measures. We're gonna take further measures, more extreme measures to isolate this incident. Okay, go get security. Okay, I'm just gonna put this away. I'm just gonna put everything away. You good, security. Go. You're my assistant. Go.